Yo, you got me or what?
All right, you got me, Denny?
Yeah,
Holy shit. 33 eyes already. You're gonna have to
yeah.
like do the sharing because I don't have my iPad and everything set up yet. So this is straight from the phone. Um shoot. No music, no intro, any of that stuff. Basically
What?
just
So this is whoa. See now, I done dropped you. So this is exactly how this works, man. This is typical sports den fashion right here. What do you mean by sharing? Like I got to share on what?
all right, well if you're on your phone and I'll put it like this. All right, right now we've got 56 eyes watching our broadcast.
Y'all need to
Between
share.
like y'all need to get on Facebook Live on Sports Den, share it with your friends because we can't do it. On Twitter, share it with your friends, at
Oh, I'm gonna
people.
share. I'm gonna share it on mine real quick. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, just really we need you guys to go out and let people know that we're here until we get some technical stuff out the way. So, but it's gonna be um it's gonna be fire though right now. Geez, let me get this StreamYard crap. Like I pay good money for the good StreamYard, so it shouldn't even be there. Oh no, I want to remove Denny from the stream. Whatever. Um, man, we got 69. Share it. Yeah, this is basically how you're gonna have to get us for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm protesting work.
Yeah. I can't even figure out how to share this thing, man.
Don't worry
Like,
about it. Just get back in the stream so we can see
man,
you.
my
Right?
people need to see it. My people need to see it.
We'll get them. Like the people. Like right now, this is a
There we
current.
go.
We ain't had this many
There we
people
go.
up in a minute.
All
Um,
right. Well, let's. Dang it! Now I can hear myself. Yeah. There we go.
we can't see your picture right now. Though. All right. Well, while we're getting all this stuff technically done, and we'll have this on YouTube stream. We'll have it edited with our normal music and our layout. There we go. Now Denny will be back here in a minute. It's not on Facebook Live. It's not on our Sports Den Live page. Um. Anyways, though, let me get Denny back up here on the stream. There we go. All
All
right.
right. Now I'm good. All right. All right. So I don't know what you said, but let's start it this way. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a whole lot to talk about. A lot's happened in 2 weeks, bro. Like it's crazy. So let's start from the beginning, and then we got some things that we want to get into. But we owe everybody an explanation. So let's start there, if you're cool with that, and then I want to get into Coach Bowden a little bit with you, and then we'll get into some Jag stuff as well. But I know what everybody wants to hear. Right off rip is kind of what happened. Um, we don't really know. Like, I mean, to be honest, like the way this thing worked, there's not like a beef. There's nothing like that. It was one of those things where, about I don't know, a few weeks ago, um, there was a change in programming with what the station had to do to meet some requirements. We'll put it that way with some contracts they had, and so we were gonna get bumped a little bit later, and we both have families, and so it was one of those things where, I mean, James, you agree, like, honesty is the best policy here, right?
I'm not doing 10 to midnight. I'm just
Right. I mean, we're just being flat out honest. I'm still at 10, so I may get in trouble for this, but oh well. Like, honesty is what it is. So
be honest with you.
so
I
we were
don't.
told, yeah, that we were gonna need, huh?
I don't know what the hell I am with 10-10 right now. So like, but so
Yeah, and,
but
and we're gonna get into that in a second. Like we were told that we were gonna have to move, and it was one of those things where we sat on it for a minute and just decided that it wasn't what we wanted to do. And so we made that decision. And then we didn't really mean, and this is what I really want to tell everybody, we really didn't mean to just disappear like that.
Right.
What we were filling in for Rick, and we were at Mr. Chubby's, and James started to not feel well.
Right.
And so our original plan was to come back that next week, and kind of tell everybody what was going on. But when James wasn't feeling well, and we'll get into a lot of that on Wednesday night, we're going to do this again on Wednesday. He left early in Mr. Chubby's. I didn't feel like it was a good time to talk about it, so we just kind of let it go. For those that don't know, James had COVID. I think everybody knows that now. And so the following week, I wasn't about to like release a statement without you. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to do that. And so it wasn't one of those things where we just intended on disappearing. It just kind of happened that way. A lot has happened in the last couple weeks. So that's kind of the story. That's how we got here. There's nothing that really could have been done. It's not one of those things like we don't need you guys calling 1010, that type of stuff. Like that's not what it is. And we leave doors open. So there's still a possibility down the road that we could come back to 1010. I mean, who knows? Nothing but love there. And so it's for now though, moving forward, James, I think this is probably is the best thing. It's forced us to move in a direction that we've been talking about moving for what, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. Basically just we've always wanted to be creative with the content, and give you some more stuff. And in the fall is really a 3-day-a-week show with a Sunday Jags breakdown. And we'll still give you guys the Jags breakdown, but it'll be more like when we did that one season with Mr. Chubby, with the Mr. Chubby's 30-minute breakdown right after games. So like you'll be able to get that. This is part of the beautiful thing about us owning our own show. That
right.
It doesn't die with whether we're on 1010 or anything else. We control the medium, we control how we're going to do, but like now we can have the freedom to do more of a live type of show. And we got some things kind of coming to where it'll be a little bit better than this, and a little bit more professional. But this is the quickest way to really get it out to you guys right now. And also we're not really media guys. Like our relationships with people are truly based on relationships with people. Like we really know a lot of these guys that we talk about. And so now we don't really have to worry about like, oh, let me not say it this way, or, oh, we're afraid that maybe this will get somebody in trouble, because we're no longer, this show isn't on the official station of the Jaguars. So, but like to go back to what Denny was saying, it's kind of like we saw the tweets and appreciate the love, guys. Yeah. I'm dying though. Yeah. So I couldn't really give you a good explanation besides I'm in ICU. And like we'll go through it, and I'm going to it probably touch my hearts or whatever, but I want to talk about stuff in the manner in which is me, because I got to joke about stuff a little bit to take some of it off, some of the heat off of it. But but like Denny has a more clear path, and probably again with the 10-10 thing, we don't know. Like there's no, all I know is right now and this is the truth, and I can't get in trouble. What are they gonna fire me and not give me time? But like there's no clear path. Like there's no, James, we're gonna have you on 15 shows a month while the sports den is down. It was literally, we don't have any time spots for you, and we have sponsors. And like I had one person say, who am I gonna get my guns from and my alcohol? Please, in this moment right now, especially not having worked for 2 weeks, I need you to get your guns from Green Acre Sporting Goods. And I need you to get cigars while I can't smoke until I can smoke again from thehumidor.com or ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Those are still our sponsors. We still got great relationships, and we're just going to come and just we're going to really just push it forward.
Hey, let's talk about that for a second, because
I want to say this real quick, Denny, and I really appreciate you on this, because like even in this, and there was no pressure outside. Like it could have been, this is the perfect time to break or do stuff that's selfish in your own interest. But like I want to say, Denny just held it. then he held me down, man. Like it was great, to know that I had that, and really, he was the one who was just like, hey, man, we got to talk. Let's put stuff on paper, and let's go give these guys, let's go give the people who are really, really searching and loving our show the best possible product. So before we get into like an actual show type thing, if you really, really, really love the sports, then you want to help us out, right now, the best thing you could do is go on YouTube and subscribe to Sports Den Live, and just hit the subscribe, hit the little arrow button so that you can hear when we get more stuff. And because again, it's not just going to be the Sports Den; it's going to be other pieces that we're going to ask, that we're going to put up. Follow us on Twitter, and then what's going to end up happening is we're going to have like a subscription-based service. So we're looking for 100 people. We'll come up with the price, and we're going to hook you up with swag and gear and how to get to us and how to help us out. But like, you'll get that stuff. The conversations that y'all want to hear in between breaks, you'll get stuff like that. You'll get the raw edited cut. You'll get things before everybody else. But even the people who don't want to support in that manner, and that's cool too, please just follow us. Just follow us and keep doing that for right now. But that's I guess that's the public service announcement for right now.
No, man, there's a lot of moving parts to this. Just to kind of let everybody behind the scenes, like, I mean, what James has been doing, not just what he's been fighting with COVID, and we'll get into that. Wednesday, is that what we decided?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday we're going to come back and kind of talk about James' experience the last couple weeks, but what he's been doing with the backpack drive and with, the food drives and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's been a lot going on, and it's a lot of there's a lot of moving parts. But I will say this: our intention is to turn this around really quick and to put out some really dope shit that we haven't been able to put out. Like, if that's the goal. The goal is, James mentioned the relationships. So the goal is, like, I want to be able to do a show where Gardner comes fresh from a training session and tells it like it is. Mm-hmm. And he's not going to come in the radio station and do that. I want to be able to do a show where we go and we utilize our relationships with Mike Norvell, and we get, a sports den style sit down for 45 minutes with the guy and really learn about who he is, and Dan Mullen and Kirby Smart and all these guys that we really feel like, and we could be wrong, but we have access to that a lot of people don't have, on a level that a lot of people don't have. And so that's the goal long term.
Brag about ourselves more. Like, we broke the news about what's Butters? What's his name? What was Butters' name?
McElwain.
We broke the news about McElwain being fired before anybody ever did it, and we didn't even get a chance to broadcast it. Like, when it was good. Like, we knew about the tag search, we knew about the Mike Norvell stuff. There's a
credit card scandal.
Credit card, like, there's a lot of things that we want to be able to do that we haven't been able to do because we're the lower men on the totem pole. And bump that. Like, now, when I say CJ, like, now if I want to say CJ Henderson might not be at practice, I ain't got to sit and wait until 8 o'clock to possibly go and do it. Hell, we could start a sports den during prime time, during drive time if we wanted to.
And that's the plan. The plan is, when something happens, we want to be up. We want to be live. When we get an interview, we want to be up. But even beyond the sports den, I think both of us have great ideas that on that YouTube channel and on the Spotify channel and what any channel we go to, you're going to be able to have access to things that you don't have access now because we're limited by what we can and can't do in a studio. And then in addition, and again, it's nothing is 10-10. It's just kind of our style is we're freestyle, right? We had other options. Let's go ahead and get that. Like, we had some other options to go some other places and do a live show. They were great options, but the reality is we're going to bet on ourselves here, and we're going to bet on you guys that, we've been doing this for a long time. You guys have stuck with us. We're the only show that you guys consistently listen to the whole thing. Like, if you go and you look at every metric there is, the guys that start with us end with us from 8 to 10 p.m. And so we're betting on y'all. And James and I talked about this last week. It's kind of a grassroots, old school thing. We need you guys to tell other people. That's really what it is. And we're going to put out content. And we don't want you to tell people if you don't like the content. But if the content's good, We need you guys to tell other people. We want to work with local companies, and we want to do some, like an example, just a good example. Like, we need to have a live show from a dope sports bar.
Right.
We need to do that, and we don't need to have an engineer out there and all that kind of stuff. We can do that, and so we need to find places like that. We need to find realtors. James and I want to show houses live.
Right.
Like, we want to do a show while we're showing a house. We need to find car dealerships. We want to test drive cars for you guys. Like, we need to find things that we were a little handcuffed on before. And so that's what we want to do. We want to get the interviews in. We want the freedom to be able to say, hey, Manny Diaz, man, can we come down to Miami and do this? Can we come down to Miami and take a cribs type tour of the facility and spend 30 minutes with you? And I really believe that where we're at right now, we have the ability to do that. And I think it's going to be really dope content. And I can't wait to get it going. But more than anything, we just wanted to put something together this week while we're working on all of this, so we didn't just disappear on you guys.
Right. And AC is not about just finding a damn realtor, one that we want to get paid for the damn house. Really.
Hey, see, you're our guy, man. Like, you're our guy. Well, I'm just using that as an example, bro.
Like, hell, we know Jay Williams makes good ass food, but like he got to pay us too. That's
right. Right. And
Trade
Trade ain't paying my mortgage.
Yeah, shit, we got bills too.
Hey, a couple things. Let's if people have questions, I can't really see what they're saying, James. So if there's something there that you feel like we need to get to, we can get to that. But I want to get straight to on a more serious note, and we can dive into this more at another time this week, because everybody's kind of doing their Bobby Bowden tributes right now. And I really would like to put something together like we talked about, for later in the week, when everybody's kind of calmed down a little bit. But on the surface, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah, on the surface, there's a couple guys, and I tweeted this yesterday. There's guys that, like, when they pass away, they continue to inspire. It's almost like when you hear stories of, not very many, very, very few. It's like when you hear stories of the impact that people had, we make this too much about sports, and it's not about sports. When you hear the true impact, and somebody lives a great life, and it was 91 years old. 91 years old is a great life, and he did a lot. But even at the end of that, man, like, listening to you and listening to everything going on about Bobby Bowden, it transcends school colors. It transcends how old you are. It transcends all that kind of stuff. And man, I got to tell you, the last 2 days, hearing the stories of Bobby Bowden, not sound corny, but has made me kind of reevaluate where my priorities are for this. Even in 91 years, in the big scheme of things, that's a very short time on this earth. And you keep using the word legacy and everything that I hear you do. And I want you to talk about just the legacy that Bobby Bowden leaves beyond football.
Oh, and since this is our show, and again, I don't have any intentions of really. I'm not trying to burn a bridge, but I want to let it be known that I'm extremely bothered that every radio sports outlet in the city of Jacksonville had me talk about my coach, and I didn't even get a chance to say no to talk about my coach. So, and I know there was a special done, and he deserves it. But it's also one of this. To be honest with you, I thought it was. But I'll go back. I guess let me go back through all of that. So obviously we knew about 3 weeks ago that Jim Henry made the announcement, and I knew he had pancreatic cancer, and I knew a lot of those things. But but death is final. So it's so final. Like you never know until it's over, right? And then so Sunday, damn, it just happened yesterday. So Saturday, I kind of heard that he's not going to make it through the weekend. So I start thinking about my playing time and laughing and kind of just thinking of memories and stuff that coach has said, and I kind of tweeted a little bit of it and some of the things, and there's so many stories that you don't even know. I've gone on I think I've done 15 radio shows, and I've told different variations of stories because they're just all in there. And you really think about I was really going trying to kill people for a sticker from Coach Bowden. That's really what it comes down to. Just think about when you're in kindergarten, you got the little gold sticker. We were really trying to hurt people for tomahawks. So in my helmet was I have my last game helmet is full of tomahawks. I don't even let my son wear it. I said, you gotta earn that, baby. Yeah. But those things you don't really even know. And that's just from a sports standpoint, right? And yeah, he was great. And I was talking with Porter, and I did this with Chris Porter. Shout out to First Coast News. I did a play today. I think whatever. Go check it on the internet or whatever. This man, you get paid as a coach, and then you've been a coach before. You're paid to win games, man. That's the reality of the situation. You're paid to go from high school to pro. You're paid. Your job is to literally go out there and win games, and that's it. Nothing more to it. But this man went above and beyond that for decades. I think he coached for 50 years.
Yeah.
And he knew that if I mold these men and I put some real life principles in them, I'm going to win a lot of ball games. But bigger than that, these guys are going to go and they're going to win championships in life. And if you know our show, you know me, I hate those kind of leadership reps and all that stuff doesn't matter, except for when it does, which is off the field. And he took care of business on the field. But so many guys really took true to what he said. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I know God knows what I would be if it wasn't for him. I'm an individual that's if they did a psychological profile, I'm probably slightly touched, and I probably would be violent. But he was able to take a bunch of guys like me and some worse, right? Get us to focus on a goal. Get us to get degrees. Get us to channel that pent up energy and anger. Follow him, and then go out there, kick some ass. But then after that, go be men. Whether you're a Christian or not, I'm not necessarily a Christian, but Bobby put those principles are in me because of Bobby. I can't say I definitely am a devil worshiper, but ain't nobody going out there giving out backpacks like that. I wouldn't be doing that. Probably, I guarantee, actually not probably. I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for what Bobby instilled in me about legacy, going back to your community and pulling out the next person that was like you. Those are the things that Bobby really instilled, and I hate crying, man. And I cried, man. I cried like a baby yesterday morning, and unfortunately, the chick got me too. I cried on the news.
I watched it before we came on. Yeah,
freaking put it on there, man. I tried and it hurt my COVID in my chest because I was trying to hold it in. But it just came out. But again, he again, that all shucks attitude that everybody. I've been saying that because I've been blessed to be able to interview him. On the other side, we've had him on our show before. We've had the snippets, we've had clips, and I'm telling y'all, that old man got y'all fooled. If y'all think he's just an all shucks, Jesus loves me, everything is. That man is shrewd. That man is, and it's fun, to know that part about him. To know, because think about it, we all know who Mickey Andrews is. Mickey Andrews is borderline psychotic. How many borderline psychotic people just going over to just hang out with crazy cats? But then again, now that I'm saying this, the story of Jesus, Peter chopped off a dude's ear about Jesus. Yep. And y'all act like Jesus just walked around with lambs on his shoulder and feeding people. But again, even then, if you read the scriptures, the man was a badass. And that's what Bobby was, certified, but who he was even now, and this is what my whole thing with politics. We don't get into politics and stuff on our show like that, but people were telling me he voted for Trump. Bobby's a 90-plus-year-old white man from Alabama. You could have put a peanut against Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, and he was voting for it. Like, it didn't matter. Like, but you know what matters to guys like me? That guy came to me, a kid from the hood, didn't turn his hat around, didn't sag his pants, didn't try to talk jive or whatever like me. He came into my home and recruited me and talked to me like a man and didn't talk to me about what we were going to just accomplish in the 4 years, 3 to 5 years I was going to be with him. Talked about 40 years afterwards. Talked about the legacy. What are you going to have to show for it? Like, you come here and told my mom, I'm going to make sure your son is never going to have to live in these kind of circumstances that you guys are in. And it wasn't that my mom, like, you know, we didn't have much, but the point is that he made sure that, like, we were taken care of. And he knew everything about you. His last game here, when he was coaching, I came up to him. He was like, hey, coach, I was with Bradley Jennings. And this is when I knew, first off, that Bradley Jennings was a damn good football player. That's AKA Monster. Because if Bobby calls you Monster, if Bobby calls you a nickname, that means that's really your nickname. Like, you didn't create. Me and Bradley, he's like, Monster, is that you? And I'm like, your name really was Monster. Like, who the hell are you a killer? Like for Bobby to say that. But then when me and Bobby got to talking, he talked about my sister, who was a track athlete at the time at Florida State, and asked how was she doing with track. Asked about my mother and my grandmother, who they snuck and gave handicap parking passes. So my mom actually got to park in the stadium, unlike a lot of other people. And then he talked about, like, it's been 4 years and I could use a fullback like you and blah, blah, blah. And he told me I was a top 5 fullback in his mind. And I thought it was BS until I interviewed him again. And then you remember, like, how I came back, chest all plump. Bobby said, let me tell you about James. He wasn't no sissy. He'll go out there and hit you. And he said it the next year. He was like, I've never known James to back down. And he said it the year after that. And I'm just like, man, one of the great, to me, the greatest coach of all time, literally confirmed that I may have been a badass on the football field. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about me, but ain't nobody, Saban ain't saying that about none of y'all. So, right. Like, but that's just, that's just, it saddened me. But then when I started talking about him and who he was and his legacy, and he lives through guys like me, and he lives through all my teammates and guys who are a lot better. So,
it's like I have an internal struggle with, because I am a Christian, and I'll tell anybody that. I don't shy away from it, but I do have this internal struggle with the whole, walking the walk thing. Everybody messes up. I get that. Everybody falls short. I get that. So when you look at guys like Bobby Bowden, and you look at a guy who was married, was it 71 years? Is that what it was?
And talked about Miss Ann like she was the baddest thing ever.
Right. And he never, James, there was never anything substantially bad said about the guy. Right. Like everybody, especially, and it was not even just when he passed away. People said this when he was living. Like, it was an honor to know Bobby Bowden. And so when you look at somebody's life and that they had, because everybody has their own struggles, and that they had their own struggles, but they fought through things, and he grew up in what was it, West Virginia or something like that, or Alabama, something like, he didn't grow up, in a privileged area. I'll say that. And he made it, and he made an impact on thousands of people's lives that he met, but then also hundreds of thousands of people that he didn't meet. Like, that's inspirational to me. And, when we're talking about, planning for radio, and we're talking about planning for this type of stuff, and I'm talking about training quarterbacks, that's the type of stuff. I don't know Bobby Bowden at all, but that's all I can think about these last couple of days is the imprint that we leave, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, there is one, right? Like, there is one. Like, what we talk about, what we do, who we are, you with your food drops, you with your backpack giveaways. Like, people are going to say whatever they want to say about you, but they can't take that away. Right. And that's who you are. And so when we're sitting here and we're talking about this, I'm thinking about Bobby Bowden. I'm thinking about what I think about Bobby Bowden as a Florida fan. And I can't tell you a bad thing, bro. Like, I can't tell you one bad thing. And that's how I want to live my life. And that's what I mean by there's a couple of dudes that can just be inspirational through life and death. That's so cool to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in this day and age where when you outwardly say you're a Christian, there's a lot of people that look to tear you down. Like, the man stood firm in his faith, didn't shy away from it, and lived up to every ounce that means. And that's dope to me. That's amazing.
And that's what I tell a lot of people. Like, I'm not here to, if you believe it, like, I'm not here to fight people on that stuff. To me, because there's bigger, especially what I just went through, there's way bigger fish to fry. I 100% believe everything that Coach Bowden says. Like, I believe that I don't know where I'm going, but if there's a heaven, I know he's there. And there's been some combos that I've had with people, like, these. Actually, no, I'm gonna say it, these fucking woke people who, again, with the politic thing, I'm like, yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, name me another person that you can think of that's gone. Like, was it Sherwood? Sherwood's one of the hoods here, right, in Jacksonville. One of the a good story. You interviewed him with Hometown Heroes. My bad, I can't think of it. Lambeau Lee. Buck.
Leroy Butler.
Leroy Butler, yeah. Leroy Butler told a story one time when he was talking to us, because he was a prop 48. So it's an old term that people don't know. Like, basically, like me. Like, you were a dumbass, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. They had to, like, bend some rules to get you in. But, like, you either had really good grades and your test score was really bad, or you had really bad grades and your test score was high, and you basically red-shirted, kind of, or whatever. But Bobby found out that Leroy wasn't doing what he was supposed to do in the classroom. Immediately hopped up, got in the car from Tallahassee, told him, I'm coming to see you. We're going to have a conversation. And he thought it was a joke until Bobby got close to town and he called him at the corner store. He was like, yo, coach, don't come. Don't, whoa. They're going to rob you. Did not care. What he cared was that his kid that he was about to come in wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Like, and there's a million stories like that where he's coming in snatching you up out of where you're supposed to be at. And what I was telling people, like, even my book bag drops, I'm telling some of these woke people who so for the cause, so for the hood, ain't put $36 for a book bag, ain't liked one tweet, ain't shared it, ain't come and even got free food, ain't done none of that. Bobby wrote a check because of who I was and because he knew what it was going toward. And there's a million times that he's done stuff like that. Like, even, like, it's just the people who try to find something to hate, that's something inside of you that you really have a problem. Yeah. Like that you need to go get help with. Because if somebody's dying and everybody has something great to say about them, like, and not like that fake fluff stuff, like legitimate, and you have to go search for something bad to say about that person, that means you're a terrible person. And nobody
agree.
People like
agree. And I want to get into more of this later in the week. If we get a chance to hear from some of your teammates, that would be that'd be awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And almost, like, I think it would be dope even if it's 2 weeks from now, James. Like, I want to hear the stories, like, let the emotions play out. Let the grief settle in. Like, I think it would just be cool when everything is said and done to just kind of hear the stories of you guys, and let him live on a little bit longer through that process. If that makes sense.
No.
What's that?
No, definitely, I agree with you.
So let's move on a little bit here. I've been to most of the Jaguar practices. I think I've been to all but 2, maybe 3. So a couple observations, because James hasn't been able to go. We'll get into Wednesday, James' struggle or battle with COVID. COVID whipped my man's butt for a little while, like, no way around it. So we'll get into his battle, a little bit of mine earlier in the year. We'll come at COVID from a personal angle on Wednesday. But but so he hasn't been out there. So I'm going to talk to you guys like I'm talking to James, like I'm catching James up on what's going on at the stadium. A couple of things. First and foremost, Urban Meyer's a real deal, bro.
Okay.
Like, to the average person going out there watching a football practice, I don't know how many people really can appreciate what Urban Meyer's done. This dude is everywhere, James. Like, I look up and he's coaching tight ends. And then it's like I turn my head and he's coaching special teams. And then it's like I turn my head again and he's over with the receivers. And he usually has DJ Chark or somebody after practice. The intensity is not like this fake intensity that you see at football practices sometimes, where it's like super loud music that carries on, that type of stuff. It is a focused intensity. I'm really paying attention to the way that the practices are scripted, that the practices are run, and kind of the intensity levels. And it's not one of those things where I'll put it this way. I can tell a difference in the way that the team has learned how to practice. Meaning they know when to be intense and they know when to come down. And it seems like they can kind of flip that switch, which you've been around enough good teams to know that when things get serious, when things need to get serious as a team, you got to be able to have that switch that says, okay, we got to focus in for these next 10 periods of practice. These first 3, we can kind of relax. We can catch our breath. That's been my biggest takeaway, man. My biggest takeaway has been not the overall energy, but the intent, how intentional everything at a Jags practice is right now. And it's not like we're moving just to move. I think that's the new age, like make sure nobody's standing in a line type stuff. No, you'll actually see people taking breaks at a Jags practice right now. You will see that. But when everybody's working, they're working together. They're working fluidly. They're all working on the same thing. I was specifically watching the quarterbacks the other day, and it's not like they're trying to make all the quarterbacks look the same, but there is an intent to make sure the ball comes out at the same time, to make sure that they're all on the same page with reads, to make sure that they're all at the same page with coverage checks, things like that. Running backs look spectacular. Like when I say that, I don't like every one of them looks the same. They all hit the hole the same. They all hit the same hole. They all it's like they really haven't gotten into too much pass pro, but they all know where they're going. And it's like interchangeable between 4 or 5 of them, James. And I've thought about you a couple times out there, because all of a sudden you'll see a sudden burst. You're like, oh, that must have been ETN. And no, it wasn't. It was Carlos Hyde. Oh, wow. And it was James Robinson. And it's just, they almost look interchangeable. That's all the good. The bad, Taven freaking Bryan. Like, I mean, what are we doing? Why is he still here? I mean, my man came out with a shiner. You're aware of that?
No. Somebody fought him?
I don't know what the deal actually was. I've heard about 5 stories. But first day, my man wasn't able to practice because he had a black eye.
Nice.
And then the rumor was he fell to the
physical. Right?
The whatever the test is, when he got cleared on that. And now you don't hear anything at all about him, bro. Nothing at all. Dead weight. Get rid of him. CJ Henderson. Let's go ahead and go there. Whatever you can get.
Right.
If the Saints want to play this game and they want to give you a 5th rounder, then freaking take it at this point.
I think I blame, you know who I blame CJ Henderson on? Sports media in Jacksonville.
Okay.
The weird, again, I'm not absolving him of his weirdness. He is a sassy individual. But that's
he's got issues.
We know Jalen is Jalen.
Jalen, yeah.
Damn it, that's Jalen. But they put so much on this kid, CJ Henderson, to be the next Jalen or better, that we overhyped one game.
Yeah.
He overhyped it. He's not Jalen. Jalen, again, hack everybody else. It's time to admit it. He was a once-in-a-generation talent, and we messed up. All right. It didn't work, but we messed up. We didn't help it.
Move on. Yep.
His back wasn't hurting. I agree with you, but we didn't help. Like every time Jalen said something, and he already had issues. And what I think happened is CJ has been failed by the system with mental illness in this country, and not just like the Jags. It's not just the Jags' fault. Well, it's the Jags' fault because they didn't do their due diligence. Like the one thing about the NFL that everybody has said, hell, I don't know if it's been since the beginning of time, but I know it's been around since before I played. They know everything about you. Like they knew when I got kicked out of my middle school, they interviewed the principal who ain't been the principal for like 20 years after that, for 10 years after that, something crazy. But like they're gonna try to find everything about you. They knew about my godbrothers who sold drugs. They knew about all these different things. But you mean to tell me you didn't know this guy got a little couple issues up there? You couldn't ask those, like no coach. Every coach said that, because I know coaches who know him, and even they say like but they didn't know because they're not able to diagnose. They just knew that CJ's demeanor, like if he gets a pick six or he gives up a 20-yard, a 50-yard bomb, it's the same demeanor. Like that should let you know. Maybe a little, the elevator will go all the way to the top. Or when we joked on sportsden, I ain't never seen. And they were like, "Oh, it was just that man had no emotion when he got drafted top 10."
And it wasn't a Jacksonville thing.
Yeah, it's just like forget that. You just got drafted top 10. Like somebody happy. And he was just stoic. And you see all these things and you're like, damn, these are all red flags that we talked about on our show. But this is stuff that we talk about on our show that for some reason everybody kind of lets slide. But then it ends up becoming an issue in the grand scheme of things. But I think he's a good player. I think they just have to find the right combination of voices that he can listen to, and I can understand as a Jag. You just don't really want to deal with that right now. Like, but if
the thing about CJ though, James, like, if we're gonna be completely 100 about this, he's got one shot beyond this. The shot here's done. Like, it's not gonna work here, and there's a million reasons why that I don't really feel like getting into in here, because a lot of it's information we probably don't need to get into.
Right.
But the ship has sailed in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. He's got one chance outside of Jacksonville. And what, as a human being, what you should hope for is that he finds the right place for him. Now, the Jags got to do what they got to do. You go and you get as much as you can get for CJ Henderson, regardless of who it's from. But you want to find him in a stable place, man, where that guy can get things right, and where he can have a productive 5, 6, 7-year career, and get away from, I'm gonna call them demons because I don't know the better term for it.
Right.
Some unfortunate circumstances. Let's put it that way. And I'll even say this beyond his control. Like, this isn't a hate on CJ Henderson at all. This just isn't the spot for him. He needs, like, that fresh start thing is real for him. He needs to go somewhere. He needs to hit reset. He may need to take some time away from football. Like, he just needs to get everything in order. And if the Jags can get a 4th rounder for him, then God bless him. You need that roster spot right now. And the defensive back, position and all isn't bad for the Jags. In fact, when you're sitting out there watching practice, you can go each level and you can find really good players for the first time in a long time. Josh Allen looks the part right now. Miles Jack is unbelievable. The Cisco Thong Song cat, James, good. Legit, bro.
Somebody told me that. They told me, James, healthy is good.
Legit. Like, he's got to stay healthy. But you look at this team and you start looking at the different levels and you say, okay, there's some pieces away, probably not going to be great this year. And you can do that on offense. Like, offensive line, all in all, for what we've been able to see, has been pretty dang good. Laviska Shenault looks like he's taking the next step. There's a lot of injuries at receiver right now. I mean, they're bringing cats in, left and right now. Like, I think I'm 2 calls away from being in training camp as a receiver for the Jags. They're bringing somebody in every single day. I mentioned the running back position. What everybody wants to hear about is the quarterback position, and here's the reality right now. Trevor's everything we thought he was, but there's been some bumps. and there's probably going to be more bumps. He's made throws that there's 2 to 3, maybe 4 other human beings on this planet can make. And then he's had days where he looked absolutely hideous. He really hasn't been in between. Like, it's been that. Gardner has been fairly consistent. They're still splitting the reps, and I'm going to go against the media. The media is calling for Trevor to get all the 1 reps. But listen, Urban Meyer's genius is in his motivation tactics. And Urban Meyer's genius has long been in his competition phase. Like, everywhere he's been, he has created competitions even when there weren't competitions. I can name 2 guys at the University of Florida. No, 1 guy, because Tim Tebow had to overcome Chris Leak early. Percy Harvin is the only guy that I know of at the University of Florida that could do whatever he wanted to do and get away with it on the field. Outside of that, everybody had competition. Y'all leave this alone. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy. Urban Meyer knows what the hell he's doing with this. And if he's splitting reps right now, that's not a bad thing. But, we got the real deal in Trevor. He's making some insane throws, but he's just going to have to kind of learn where he can fit a ball in the league and where he can't fit a ball. And the worst thing that happened to him was this new NFLPA rule, which was insane. I don't know if you've heard about this, but the entire first week of practice, defensive backs could not play the ball. So once the ball was thrown, defensive backs can't play it anymore. They have to let up. And so he could find like an inch and he could fit a ball in there. Well, the first day that they were able to play the ball, my man struggled. Since then, he's gotten progressively better and better and better. And so I just think it's going to take some time. But, I would think his skill set is extremely similar to Justin Herbert. Better arm, more arm talent, just as athletic, not quite as good mechanically. But dude can make every single throw on the field, and he's already shown that.
I mean, he's incredibly talented, but I think also people got to realize that there is politics in the NFL, but it's also a league of men who have all gambled on themselves. And basically they're playing the lotto every day to go out there because you have better odds of winning the lottery than you do of making an NFL team. And Gardner Minshew ain't no chump. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's why everybody loved him, because of how competitive and how he's gone. And his approach, once he realized they weren't going to let him go, was that if you ain't going to let me go, then I'm going to mess this thing up. And not in a bad way. I'm going to mess it up because I'm going to outwork the person that you put in front of him. So you're either going to free me, or the minutes you give me, I'm not relinquishing that.
Hey, we can talk about it now. If y'all remember a couple months ago when I kept having to leave the studio because I kept getting phone calls, this is what it was in regards to. It was in regards to during OTAs on whether Gardner was going to be here or somewhere else. And once he knew that he was going to be here, 100% of his focus, 100% of his training was where it should have been. If I'm going to be here, I'm going after the starting job. Do you really want it any other way? Like, as a Jag fan, you really want him approaching this any other way than saying, it's my job. I'm not just going to give it up. I'm going to make the young guy fight for it.
The only thing I've ever asked in life is for opportunity and clear rules of engagement. And I want to take, if we're in a situation like anybody else in life, like, you're not going to come in there, well, okay, you're the supervisor. Okay, and I'm just a little, or I was the supervisor. They brought somebody in to take my job. Oh, okay, well, here you go. You can have it now. No, that's not how competitive environments work. You know the rules. You know the rules of engagement. Sometimes they're paired against you still, but you're really going out there and you're snatching that away. And that's what championship teams do. So bravo to Gardner for not like getting in the dumps on it and coming out there. When I was getting back into everything, I saw one of his interviews. I loved it. Loved every aspect of it. Loved the confidence in the way he talked about it. There were some clips that also made me wonder why I fought so hard to come back, if this is what I got to report on and watch with my eyes. But it's so good to have football come around and to have I will say this, for most of our existence on radio, it's been abysmal. It's been very, very dark. Yeah. At least there's a bright spot. Again, I gotta stop it. Urban might not work, but the beautiful thing is, right now, I get to talk excitement for 2 years, and if it doesn't work, I get to talk about firing his ass for 2 years. It's a win-win.
I think, James, that regardless of what happens this year, and I mean that, like, short of, I don't mean like if they go 1-16, no, that's that. But let's say they go 5-12. All right, let's just hype. You're going to see enough out of this team. You're going to see enough flashes that there's going to be reason for excitement. And when you see the improvement from day after day after day as a squad, I mean, I can't put, well, 500's impossible now with the 17-game schedule. I can't put 8-9 or 9-8 behind it. Like, I could see that happening. Now there's a lot of college to this, and I'm interested to see how this works. Urban Meyer has brought a ton of the college game to the NFL, in the way they're practicing, the way they're training, the way they're meeting everything. He's taken what he knows how to do best, and he is bringing it up. He's not trying to change who he is. So he is bringing it up to the NFL. I'm very interested to see how that works.
I think we'll all be tuned in and ready to check it out, and that's it's definitely gonna be an interesting season. So,
one quick thing, sportsden favorite James O'Shaughnessy, balling. My man is balling right now. Y'all keep hating on the tight end position. Let my man make a Pro Bowl.
Love James O'Shaughnessy. Feed him the ball.
We will definitely have James on in the offseason in this new format as well. James will gladly, and I'll tell you another one that I think that if we can get this going quickly enough, that I think we can get on fairly quickly, is Blake Bortles. So I've been working with Blake 3 to 4 days a week for the past month. When Aaron Rodgers was signed, Green Bay didn't need him, or when Aaron Rodgers showed up, Green Bay didn't need him, and so they released him. So he's here working. So I think some things like that, guys, keep your eyes peeled. We're gonna be able to do some pretty cool stuff with that, man. Like, I'm excited about that. Is there anything else we need to get into?
No, I mean, not that I can think of. I think, for us to do an impromptu show, man, we had a consistently in the 100s, man. Where the hell was this at before?
Well, they were all listening on SoundCloud the next day. Hey, but seriously, like, guys, we're going to reiterate it because I've seen a lot of questions come through asking us about 10-10. Go back and listen to the explanation. I am still at 10-10. So just let me be clear about this. So I am doing a rotation of shows at 10-10. I'm still doing the podcast with Dan Hicken. I'm not doing anything on Friday Night Lights or high school related, but I'm doing a couple segments here and there on each show throughout the week. The Sports Den is not with 10-10 right now. Not going to say we're never going to be. There's a business end to this that we're all well aware of. But like I said earlier, we are going to bet heavily on ourselves here, and we're going to bet heavily on you guys. And we just need you guys as we put out more content, and it's going to be more professional. It's going to be more scheduled, and it's also going to be some random stuff. If something good comes up, it's going up. Like, we need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube page. We need you guys to tell your friends about it. We need that. That's the biggest way you can help us right now. From a community standpoint, we will be putting together some sponsorship opportunities. And we want to do the sponsorships. And Chris has already let us know ABC's in, right? ABC's a lifer with us. So we will be doing sponsorship the way we want to do sponsorship, which is we want to work with people who we use.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested in that, or somebody's interested in that, let us know that as well. But the biggest thing you guys can do, continue to support. Like, I cannot tell you guys how awesome it's been the last couple of weeks. Also, how hard it's been not to be able to say anything to you, but how awesome all the comments have been, the DMs have been checking in. James, I bet I had 200 DMs checking on you, bro. Like, insane.
I wanted to. We'll talk about more of that on Wednesday, and I wanted to respond more, but I've fought a lot of things in my life, and I've never really got my ass whooped. I got my ass there. I can say that, but yeah, but definitely.
Hey, I'll say it from this side, and we will talk about more of this on Wednesday. But I'll say it from not being a too dramatic thing. There was like a 24, 48 hour period where there was a lot of concern. A whole lot of concern. And James' sister and wife were unbelievable in keeping us, up to speed. But we'll dive into that Wednesday. But my man had to fight his ass off just to be here right now, and we will definitely get into that on Wednesday.
And so we'll do that, and we'll talk more. Probably get some college, FSU, Florida. Obviously they've started their spring camps here, and we're going to come up with a plan because we don't want to just tell you guys something, but we want to have it as a tiered plan. And anything that me and Denny have ever done in life has been pretty high end. And if you've checked out like my tailgates and a lot of the stuff, is I'm a stickler for like what I want, even with the book bag giveaways. And I'll talk about that. It was very successful. We gave away 1,000 book bags, even with me being down for a good portion of it. We had about, I think between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, I did a youth camp, and we had about 130 kids participate, less in the Jacksonville one, but it was really, really good. We're going to do more stuff with my nonprofit, mentors for the kids, MFTK. We'll still do it today. But like even the $36 backpack, what I was trying to explain to people is it's a specific type of backpack and a specific type of supplies that are going in that I'll buy for my kids. Like I'm not giving my kid cheap paper. I'm not giving this. You don't have to give it. I like that you gave it. And this is just what I was going to do. Because like I always tell them, I start off with 100 bags on my own. Like, so I already know if nothing else happens, there'll be there's $3,600 already going into the kitty. And a lot more went into that. And I really appreciate E. Dilla, Bowl City Cap. Again,
Mayor's office.
Pixar. Lenny Curry is A1 with me, second year in a row. Big time supplies given to the kids. Couldn't have done a lot without him. ABC, obviously. You guys also, again, the support that you guys are giving, just realize that, both me and Denny have things that are outside of media that help us be pretty secure with our life. But for me, this outlet with the fifth quarter, other things that I do help me be able to do what I'm passionate about, which is giving back. So like that's where I'm not gonna lie to you. I buy a lot of shoes too. So, but like I may go buy some shoes, but I'm going to also go buy some other stuff for some kids. So we'll have more things like that. But I say that to say, with the Patreon or the subscription service we're gonna have, we want to write out what we want to do, no more, no less, and we want to be consistent with how we give it to you and how you deliver it. And we want you guys to feel good enough to be able to share and get there. Because I think if we get to like 100 people on the subscription service, we're going to do some real fun stuff. And again, we're going to have finding places that have good live remotes, or even we kind of are going to have our little honeycomb hideout. If you're subscribing enough, you can come to the honeycomb hideout with us. And
this place is dope. For the people who saw where we did our draft party, that was again our show. We should have done something in this format. We could have. It was literally our show with NFL players for a draft party.
Right.
We had a lot of people ask, "Where is that?" Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, it's our spot, but we have secured that spot, and we'll be doing a lot of content there, and we'll let you guys know more. James, also I want to add this, like if you guys have an idea, if there's something you guys want from a content perspective, if there's something, James and I have a really kind of cool day-to-day life. If there's some way that something we take for granted, but you guys want to see more of, let us know. Like we want to do that. We want to bring you guys in. We want to format, to put it simply, we want to do something that hadn't been done here before. Right. And so we're looking forward to doing that. But like James has said, we're not going to put anything out until we're certain. We're not going to take anybody's money until we know what we're taking it for. And if we do it like we've done everything else, we're going to over deliver with it.
Right. So just stay tuned. The biggest thing you can do for us right now is, again, YouTube algorithm. When we get to 1,000 subscriptions, Yeah, if y'all want to pay us, you can pay us then. But that helps us get another thing. So we need to get our page. Before I looked at it, I think we were at close to 300. Please just go click subscribe, click the bell, tell your friends. Follow us on Twitter at sportsden_live and Instagram. Miles and Rain Man are going to get back to breaking down our different clips and doing stuff with us. We're going to
and Facebook. DTWD, we need a shirt.
Yeah, like we need that. Like, we want to partner with y'all, man.
Yeah,
like,
man. Come on.
Brent and Austin faces on shirts. Give us a damn face on a shirt, man. Like, dude,
we love y'all stuff, man. I buy like every hat that comes out. I buy.
I gotta.
If y'all go support those jokers, man. They're good. It's good stuff.
People talking about Dilla all over the Southeast with fresh shoes. Your favorite insider, man. Come on, man. Hook a brother up. But there's one thing that has been trending all through the hundreds of comments, man. God, y'all, this makes me miss the text line, man. The text line used to be jumping, man. That is, anyways, but it's the comment section is like the text line. So we're gonna have to have Rain Man or Miles. If this is gonna be like how it is, they're gonna have to really monitor the text line so we don't miss anything. We don't know with JJ. JJ's my like argument. Like y'all don't realize JJ's my guy. Like JJ's like my little brother. Like we argue. You should hear me and my sister argue. Like, and my sister's an attorney, so like she gets paid to argue. So and then I'm sports media, so like it's like a terrible. Like it's a headache to hear us two argue. But JJ's just loud, and you know.
Let's put it this way. If we get enough buy-in from everybody, we'll go get JJ.
We'll go get JJ.
Right. JJ has his full-time job is at 1010.
Yeah.
So like I mean that JJ is our guy. JJ is part of the sportsden crew. We love JJ to death. We still have the group text. We still talk every single day. And that group text is amazing, by the way. But JJ's got to support himself. So hopefully we can find a way to fold him in as well.
Yeah, so like we can't just go and say, "Hey JJ, sportsden's overcome." We don't have JJ got a grown ass girlfriend now that he won't admit that he's in love with and all this other stuff. So hey, JJ go make life-changing decisions like that. But if we get an opportunity, like man, JJ when the addition came, JJ, because before, if you listen to us from the gate, well, we had Country in the beginning, but then we got Scott, and Scott was not RJ, but like
we love Scott.
We picked on Scott a lot more than like we engaged with Scott. We love Scott, but JJ was a phenomenal part of the show. So, but again, going back to that, I'll tell you what to look at. $200 to $100 a month. Just think about that as the highest service. You don't have to.
Damn.
Years, but that'd be the
we're putting out content then.
Yeah, man, we're gonna put out content. We're gonna give y'all some swag.
I see ya.
Like we're gonna work, man. But $100 top. Like we're not saying you gotta do that, but that's the top shelf thing for us to be able to run this thing the way we need to. So we got 100 people at $100. We can hire JJ. We can do a whole bunch of other stuff. But the biggest thing is forget all of that. That'd be dope. Please subscribe. If y'all really rock with us, like y'all been saying, we should be at 1,000 subscriptions on YouTube in no time. We should be really bumping in. We just need to make sure these numbers stay at this level or higher every time. Man, it was really, really, really great to like do this, man. Because one, it's good to see you, like even in this way, and it's really good to get out here and talk again. From you guys, and you know what? Because of this medium, we want local businesses because we're Jackson Panhandle focused. You know, I guess we could say local because if we go down to Miami, things like that, and we'll have separate trips. Like hopefully we'll like with
I want a Hard Rock sponsorship. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, we can get that. Best bet.
There you go.
But but like the Super Bowl, we going to the Super Bowl. We going to the Combine. We'll have specialty packages for that, but like we're gonna cover it in a way that nobody else will cover it because we kind of know all those people.
Right.
Like when we go It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun football season. If you got a business and you're really looking for
a partner,
top level things, and you want us to promote, man, we're one of the best because we want people to buy your stuff. Well, one, we want to be able to know that we can buy your product if it's good, but we want to be able to support it, and we want to bring people to the doors, and we want to go do YouTube videos at your spot. Like again, we come into Green Acres again, and I'm going to start. I want to know about guns like I know about cigars now, and be able to shoot them. I want to be John Wick. So Z, when you hear this, like, no, I'm coming with a sponsorship to I want to be able to shoot guns and do a lot of badass stuff.
And y'all can stop texting me. I'll get better lighting. I had to go into my car real quick for this.
You good?
I got you. We're good. All right, fellas. Let's plan on this. So Wednesday, 8:00.
Wednesday, 8:00.
Wednesday, 8:00. We have had a ton of changes in the last 2.5 weeks. Hindsight being 2020, this is probably the best thing that ever happened, and even the timing of it was great. We'll get into all of that on Wednesday. We'll tell you about what James overcame the last couple of weeks. We'll get into some college football happenings as well. Did you see that? I'm sorry. Did you see the OnlyFans?
Hey,
we ain't getting that kind of content now.
Now listen, the Boom Boom Room, as y'all have said in the comments, we can get you some midget strippers, man, to come in now. With the person who owns that, nothing is out of the realm. I put it like this: nothing is out of the realm of possibility for the person who owns the place that we're probably going to do our content. So, you say that, be careful what you ask for and what you wish for, because that might be, you might get the best $100.
All right, guys, we will see you guys on Wednesday night at 8:00. Tell your friends. We got a lot to talk about on Wednesday night. We'll talk to you guys then.
All right, bro.